The beginning of a story no one expects. Take a deep breath with me for a few seconds. Now imagine a heart beating strongly. Not just one, but whoa. Imagine a woman lying on a cold stretcher, holding her belly tenderly, while listening to a sound that should be pure joy. Her baby's heartbeat. Thump, 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 thump. Life, hope, future. But on the other side of the room, a doctor holds a piece of paper in his hands. His gaze is serious. He takes a deep breath before speaking. And then, in a calm voice, he says words that should never be in the same sentence as pregnancy. We found a tumor. It's breast cancer. At that moment, the world stops. This is not a story about numbers. It's not about statistics. It's not about medicine. This is a story about love, fear, courage, and impossible choices. This is the story of a woman who discovered she had cancer while carrying another life inside her. And he decided to fight not only for her, but for two. From a young age, she dreamed of being a mother. She played with dolls, built makeshift cribs, and talked to a future that didn't yet exist. When the pregnancy finally arrived, it was as if the universe had said, "Now it's your turn." She felt nauseous, sleepy, tired. Everything seemed normal. Until one day, in the shower, her hands touched something different. A small lump, discreet, silent, easy to ignore. It must be hormonal, he thought. Pregnancy changes the body, they said. But that lump didn't go away. Days later, the appointment came. Then, tests. Then, silence. And then, the news that changes everything. Cancer. During pregnancy, fear didn't come alone. It brought questions that had no answers. Will my baby survive? Will I survive? Can I treat cancer without hurting the one growing inside me? How can I choose between my life and my child's life? She left the hospital walking slowly, her hand on her stomach and her heart heavy. People hurried past. The world went on as normal. But for her, everything had changed. That night, she didn't sleep. She talked to the baby in silence. She cried. She asked for strength. She asked for signs. She asked for only one thing, time. And it was there, in that dark room, that something stronger than fear was born. The decision to fight. Not just fighting cancer, but fight with love, with hope, with courage, with faith in life. This is a true story. Perhaps that's not your name. Perhaps this isn't your city. But it is the story of thousands of women who discover that, even in the darkest moments, life insists on flourishing. And if you stay with me until the end of this video, I promise, you'll understand why this fight wasn't just against a disease, but one of the greatest love stories ever told. Two lives, one struggle. After the initial shock came the most difficult days. The decisions. She sat facing an entire medical team. Oncologists, obstetricians, nurses, all speaking carefully, choosing their words as if treading on glass. Treatment is possible during pregnancy, but it's not simple. There are risks. Risks. That word has become part of everything. There were days when she felt strong. On others, she crumbled. She cried in the shower so no one would see. She cried hugging her pillow. She cried out of fear of not seeing her son's face grow up. But there was also hope. She discovered stories of other women who had gone through the same thing. Women who underwent chemotherapy while pregnant. Women who gave birth to healthy babies. Women who survived. She realized Thadi was not alone. The first treatment began. The smell of the hospital became routine. The white walls, the silent corridors, the cold chemotherapy chairs. As the medication entered her body, she placed her hand on her belly and talked to the baby. "Mom is here. We are fighting together. You are my strength." And it was true. On difficult days, when her hair started falling out, she would look in the mirror and hardly recognize herself. But then, she would remember, beauty was no longer in the hair. It was in the courage. The family became a pillar. The companion became a refuge. Friends became prayer. Each ultrasound was a gift. Each heartbeat was a victory. Thump, 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 thump. The baby was growing. And she did too. He grew in faith. It was growing in strength. It grew in love. There were moments of extreme fear. Days when her body wouldn't respond. Nights when the pain seemed greater than the hope. But there was always something that made her keep going. Life within it. When the day of the delivery arrived, The hospital seemed different. It was no longer just a place of pain, it was a place of birth. She held the doctor's hand. She took a deep breath. She cried. She smiled. And then she heard the most beautiful sound in the world, the baby's cry. Right then, in that instant, she understood everything. The struggle was worth it, but the battle was not yet over. After the birth, the treatment became more intense. Surgeries, long sessions, difficult recovery, breastfeeding between exams, caring for a newborn while fighting for her own life. It wasn't easy, but it was possible, because love gives a strength that the body alone does not have. She learned that being strong doesn't mean not crying. It's about continuing to cry, even if it means just continuing. He learned that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's about survival. And above all, he learned that life doesn't wait for the perfect moment to happen. Today, when she looks at her son playing, running, smiling, she knows every scar tells a story. Every milestone is a victory. When love conquers fear, when this woman looks back, she doesn't just see hospitals, exams, or difficult days. She sees a long road, full of stones, but also full of outstretched hands, supportive glances, and small daily miracles. She learned something she never forgot. Life doesn't warn you when it's going to test you. Cancer didn't knock asking permission. It arrived at a time when everything should have been light, plans, and dreams. It arrived in the middle of the pregnancy, when the heart was already divided in two. But if there's one thing this story teaches us, it's that love is greater than fear, bigger than the diagnosis, greater than the pain, bigger than any difficult word. For a long time, she wondered, why me? But over time, the question changed. Who might this story be useful for? Today, she understands that her pain was not in vain, that her struggle opened doors, that her courage turned into hope for other women who, at this very moment, may be receiving a similar diagnosis with their hand on their stomach and their heart in pieces. She knows that when she shares her story, she's not just talking about cancer. She is saying to another woman, "You're not alone. It is possible to continue. It is possible to be afraid and still be strong, because being strong doesn't mean being invincible. Being strong is to continue even while trembling." She remembers the sleepless nights, holding the baby in her lap while her body ached. She remembers the smell of the hospital mixed with the smell of milk. She remembers thinking she wouldn't be able to do it and then doing it anyway. And do you know why? Why love creates a force that we can't learn anywhere else. A strength that doesn't come from the muscles. It doesn't come from the mind. It comes from the heart. Today, as she watches her son grow, take his first steps, and speak his first words, she understands that each small moment is a gift earned through struggle, tears, and hope. She doesn't romanticize pain. She doesn't say it was easy, but she states with complete certainty, it was worth fighting for. This story isn't about perfect endings, it's about real new beginnings. Perhaps you, watching this video, are facing something difficult right now. Maybe it's not cancer. Maybe it's fear, anxiety, loneliness, a silent battle that no one sees. But let this story remind you of something very important. You are stronger than you think. Sometimes courage doesn't appear by shouting. She comes quietly. She simply says, continue. Continue even without answers. Keep going even if you're tired. Keep going even if you're scared. Because tomorrow may bring something that you cannot yet see today. This woman learned that life doesn't need to be perfect to be beautiful. It needs to be lived. One day at a time. One step at a time. One small victory at a time. And if you've made it this far, to the end of this story, perhaps it's no coincidence. Perhaps you also need to hear this today. Their story is still being written. Your most beautiful chapter may not have arrived yet. Don't give up before experiencing what can transform everything. If this story touched your heart, please give it a like. This helps this video reach more people who need hope right now. Write in the comments, "I believe in life. I choose to continue," and subscribe to the channel for more real, human, and true stories that show that, even in the darkest moments, light finds a way. Because when a woman fights for her life, she carries within her something stronger than any illness. She carries love. She carries hope. She carries life.